Hey guys, this is Jay Calderon with Jay Unboxing, and thanks for clicking through. Today we're going to be talking about Josh Taylor set to face Jose Ramirez in May on ESPN for a complete unification of the 140-pound division. It's a pretty interesting fight if it does come to fruition, which pretty much everyone involved seems to think that it will. Both fighters, obviously, they're both promoted by Top Rank, and Bob Arum seems to be very up for the fight. And of course, because he promotes both, it makes it a lot easier to make a fight when you have both people's career sort of in your hands there. And it's a report from ringtv.com by Joseph Santoliquito, and it states that a unification bout at 140 pounds between ring world champion Josh Taylor and fellow undefeated titleist Jose Ramirez is in play. And I'll leave the link to the original piece in the description below. And I think it's a phenomenal fight. I mean, you don't see a lot of these. You don't see them all the time. There can be an entire calendar year where you don't see one of these kind of fights, where you have two primed, legitimate champions unifying everything that is available in the division, undefeated with really no one else there to claim a spot in that fight. I mean, these are the two guys at 140 pounds that need to fight, and it's a great fight that we can get it. And the fact that we might be getting it for free, from what it sounds like on ESPN, makes it all the more impressive to me. Of course, it's always a good thing, but I mean, I think what makes it even more appealing is the fact that, of course, the winner of this fight has a plethora of fans at his disposal. Jose Ramirez, especially here in the States, already does, and Josh Taylor is certainly growing a following over in the UK. And I think the winner is going to have all the momentum in the world to go on and perhaps even move up to 147 pounds and face the likes of maybe Terrence Crawford or even some of the PBC boys down the road. So you have a lot of available fights for you if you're the winner or loser of this fight, depending on how the fight goes. What's so impressive about this, though, is that it's not just, hey, you have two undefeated fighters, and of course, that's always a good thing, I suppose, from a technical standpoint. You want to kind of clean up the sport if you can. But what's good about it here is that these two fighters actually seem to have styles that would mesh in a way that it will be an important but also compelling fight. And I think that's most important. You know, you have a fighter in Josh Taylor who can mix it up, who actually can brawl, who's willing to dig deep. We saw him when he won the World Boxing Super Series against Rigas Prograis and actually had to dig deep, had a cut on his eye, and was able to still muster up enough to win late down the stretch. And when you see someone who's able to do that and actually put forth the skill, not just, or rather the will, not just the skill, that's of course a much more complete fighter. And then you have someone in Ramirez who somewhat mirrors Taylor. And by that I mean he is someone who primarily does tend to let his hands fly a little bit more and is maybe a little less technical, but he does have enough boxing savvy with his trainer there and Robert Garcia to be able to box when he needs to. And I think that, again, just the balance of the two fighters at their primes, both undefeated, both with everything on the line, and all of the sort of, potentials that lie ahead for them, whoever happens to win, I think it's going to make for a very compelling, action-filled fight. Taylor was quoted as saying, "I will come to the U.S. to make the fight happen." Later saying that, "I respect the hell out of Ramirez. He's a great champion, but I feel I'm at my best right now. And it will be tough at times, but it's my time to shine." And I think that first part of him being willing to come to the U.S., number one, makes the fight far more likely to happen, but also lets you know how confident he is in his abilities. I mean, to get through that tournament that we were speaking of earlier with the World Boxing Super Series, to knock off another previously unbeaten titleist in Prograis, and to sort of be the last man standing there, if you will, with one final obstacle at 140 pounds in his way, I think he's really riding high in terms of that momentum. And Ramirez has a different type of motivation, perhaps to some degree. I think he kind of sees himself as someone who has been chipping away at 140 pounds, but being left out of that tournament kind of left him without a dance partner to really prove himself against. I mean, he had a great outing with Maurice Hooker in his title-winning bout when he got a stoppage win there, but really he is looking for that career-defining win, the one that really sets him apart from a lot of the other fighters at 140 pounds and can really elevate him to that next Mexican superstar. And he went on to say that this was about respect for him, that hopefully after this fight, I'll get a little more respect in the eyes of boxing fans as one of the best boxers out there. And I think, like I said, with that added motivation, that's going to be something that can help him in this fight if and when it does take place. So I think we need to appreciate this fight, guys. I think it's a really good one. Again, hope it does peel off. And if it is on free television, that's all the better because it can only help the sport grow. These sort of fights, these kind of unifications where fighters can move on to face the likes of Crawford or even guys like Spence or Porter or Thurman under the right circumstances. This is what builds anticipation for those fights and keeps the fight game renewed when people can go out there and face some new names. And you know, it's going to be interesting to see what kind of fanfare this fight generates. Hopefully, by May time, we can actually get some fans more regularly back into the arenas. That would, I think, really help liven up this event because the UK fans do travel, and Ramirez is a Mexican American fighter who, of course, will have his support as well. So, anyway, let me know what you guys think. What are your thoughts, predictions? I know it's a bit early, but who do you have, if the fight does occur, who do you have winning and how? And, how well do you think it'll do? Do you think it'll actually garner the sort of attention that most fight fans think it deserves? Like I said, appreciate all feedback and make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that great stuff. Follow me at jcalderon at JOB on Twitter and really appreciate it. Until next time.